Today I want to talk about something really important, and it's not an easy thing to talk about. If you're a Latina mother, like I am, and you have a Latina mom who is an immigrant who came here and got married, had children here, and who is very, very faith-based, then you will have similar experiences, I think at least. When you have a Latina mom who is very faith-based and is from a different country, they rule with an iron fist. They're very strong. They have a lot of courage. They're strong-willed. Their mindset's very different. They don't break as easily. And then when you add to that personality, this intense belief in a faith, like Christianity or Catholicism, what you then encounter as a daughter of that woman is this constant feeding of guilt. You are going to be feeling like you're guilt for everything. So, whether it's having a boyfriend, you want to dress a certain way, you want to, maybe your friend has an outfit that you want, if you want to shave your legs, if you want to wear an anklet, if you want to wear makeup, if you want to dye your hair, you are parented in a way where you're made to feel guilty for wanting any of those things, for wanting to live a secular life. And it causes this intense anxiety inside children. I know for myself, it definitely did. And you start pulling away from your mother. You start feeling like you can't talk to her about things that you should be able to talk about. As a daughter, you should be able to talk to your mother about boyfriends, about girlfriends, about friends, about bullying, about, sex and love and kissing and, the kind of outfits you want, shopping, have conversation with them. And as you grow from, like a young child into your teen years and into your adulthood and eventually parenthood, you're supposed to have this great bond with your mother where you can feel like you can talk about anything, right? Unfortunately, for many Latina women who have a mother like I had, we don't grow up with that sensation. We grow up with having to internalize everything, lock everything away, hide everything, feel like we can't tell them anything, and that when we do, like if we accidentally mention something that's outside of the faith, then we're made to feel like we're going straight to hell. In fact, sometimes I'll have even been told you're going to hell. For example, if I so much as kissed a boy or wore an anklet on my left ankle, I was going straight to hell. If I shaved my legs before fourth grade, I was going to hell. It was like a constant thing of making me feel fearful of anything I did outside of the faith. And it was very scary as a young child. But when I became a mother myself, to my daughters, and I have 4 of them, I wanted to break that generational thing. And I felt that the only way to do that was to not parent in a faith-based method. And it's a personal choice. Okay, that's a very personal choice because my experience is different than everyone else's. So obviously, if you had less of a faith-based parenting style, you may have implemented some faith in your parenting style. But for me personally, my mother was so strict and so hard on me and made me feel guilty about everything that I ever did outside of the faith. I felt that raising my daughters outside of the faith would be better for them in terms of their confidence, their strength, their mindset. And I wasn't wrong because my daughters are all of those things. They have a strong mindset, they're strong-willed, they know what they want, they know what they don't want, they know what's right, they know what's wrong, they're very intelligent, and they know how to fight for what they want in life. So doing that and having my mother watch me parent my daughters that way caused a lot of friction between the two of us. We were always arguing with each other because if I so much as said that we celebrated Halloween this year, I would, she would want to throw holy water on me. She would curse me out in a faith-based way. She wouldn't actually use curses because that's against her faith, but she would actually use words that made me feel guilty, anxious, fear, as if I couldn't talk to my mother, as if I didn't really have a mother. And it was really difficult to handle that. And, when you're having a conversation with people who are very much in love with their faith, and that's perfectly fine, you're allowed to do that, just like anyone's allowed to do whatever they want to do in terms of life. You sometimes don't want to hear that it's, Satan's fault that you got cancer, or Satan's fault that you got sick. Sometimes you want to hear, I'll help you find a doctor, or I will talk to you and give you advice on how to solve problems in a way that will help you. So in my personal situation, it was really difficult, really, really difficult to raise my daughters. And now as they're grown, they now see the anxiety that I get when I have to visit my mom, when I have to call my mom, when my mom calls me. They can see like that I hold back certain things that I want to share or want to say. They've even seen me cry after a conversation with my mother because they know that, you know, she says things that are very hurtful and sometimes very painful. And in her defense, I know why she does that. I know it's because she believes so wholeheartedly in her faith that she thinks she's saving me, that she believes truly that she's helping me go to heaven. Whereas I don't believe that. And that is a very difficult thing to share, especially on, you know, on popular platforms. But it's something that I think might help other Latina moms out there who are definitely in my generation and possibly younger or even older. If you have a mom who is similar to mine, don't wait as long as I waited to have the conversation where you set the boundaries. I waited a really long time. When my daughter was born, this is about almost 19 years ago now, I didn't tell her, please respect me as a mother. Please understand that this is how I choose to parent and it's different than yours, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. I didn't have those conversations with her. I didn't even know I could. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I really didn't. I didn't know that I could tell her, please, you know, I don't want to parent that way, so please respect how I parent. It took me years of constantly being harassed by her about how I was parenting for me to finally wake up and step up and say, no, this is my boundary, this is what I want. And those years broke us. It really did. It broke our relationship. And I regret that time because my role, even though I felt she was wrong in what she was saying to me and doing to me, I also didn't stand up as soon as I felt the way she was making me feel. I should have stood up much sooner and said, no, please don't disrespect me. And I should have put my wall up and my boundary. And I didn't. And so for all you Latina moms out there, and maybe even not Latina moms who may have gone through this or go through this now, I am going to give you this one tip of advice. If you have a mom like I had, and you want to save your relationship and make it better, definitely have the conversation with her. Talk to her. Tell her how she makes you feel. Explain to her that the words that she uses, that the method she uses to give you advice is more harmful than it is helpful, especially if you truly believe it. And I'll give you one silver lining in my case. A few years ago, not many, like maybe 4 or 5, is really when I started having the conversation with her about this and telling her, Mom, you know, what you say to me is very hurtful sometimes, and you do things that I feel are wrong and are wrong to me, but you never apologize, and instead you always want me to apologize, and you always make me feel guilty for responding to you after you've treated me badly. And it's a natural reaction that I would get defensive if you're treating me in a very bad or disrespectful way. And I would really appreciate it if you could please start understanding where I'm coming from, because this is a one-way street. It's always me who has to understand you, who has to come to your level, who has to come to you and apologize to you. It's never you coming to me and saying, sorry, I talked that way to you. And once I started doing that and planting my feet firmly in that respect, our relationship changed. She started seeing me more as a mother, as an adult, than as her child. And we became friendlier, and now we can have real conversations. I even make fun where sometimes she'll call me about her own marriage and she'll ask for advice. And it's weird to hear it because it's like for so long we were enemies and it was like a lot of animosity. But now that I've set that boundary and I reaffirm it every single time we have that conversation when she gets out of line, we've become closer and friendlier. And so that's my tip for all of you. If you're going through that same thing, set the boundary and stay firm in it and don't give up, because eventually you will have a great relationship with your mom again.